Oh, episode 3 of Chatting Shit about the Lunar Cup. Joined by Phil, Holmesy, and Drew, Mystic Gas. How are we all? All good?
Good, Matthew. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks, Matt.
Yeah, all good, thanks. Quite late into the. I know we normally get a few episodes out quicker than this, but I suppose it's settled. Metal settled quite a lot by now, so hopefully we'll all know what we're talking about. Fingers crossed. No.
I've not done a single practice battle, mate.
No, fair enough. Well, you're up first, Phil. So you'll be able to spread the knowledge. You've gone. Well, I'll let you say what you've gone with.
Well, the thing about Lunar Cup, you see, straight away, as soon as I saw it, I was like, how am I going to stop this from being dark heavy? So I thought, right, okay, let's have a counter user. The reason why I'm filling for time is because I'm searching what Pokédex number my... I can't disappoint Dan, all right? Yeah, so I needed a fighter. Obstagoon's up there as the highest rank. However, I fancy number 214, Heracross. Discuss. No, yeah, I think obviously it gets in on the bug. It's not gonna melt to 1. Whether Fireball from a Roserade, you know, can take 1, as opposed to Escav. I like the Rock Blast and the spamminess of it. I know it's a shit move, but there's a lot of bugs out there, and if say something can tank a Rock Blast, then maybe it can't be taking either a Mega Horn or an Earthquake. I just love the spread of moves on Hera. It'll absolutely destroy that Obstagoon. Correct me if I'm wrong, it beats Escav.
Unless Escav's running Aerial Ace.
Aerial Ace.
That's right, yeah.
Aerial Ace is the one that we need to be looking out for. But yeah, I think it's the fighter for me. If I pick a fighter.
If you pick a fighter. Yeah, it's King fighter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, Phil. Go on.
No, it's alright. I mean, you want your rocks for your bugs, and obviously the flyer that'll be everywhere, Mandy. You can counter quite a few things down. I haven't mentioned close combat. That might be worth a shout. It hits like a truck. But what would you be hitting that you're not hitting with an Earthquake? So Rock Blast is a must.
Yeah.
Counter, I think that goes without saying. I usually, at this point, Dan says how there's another fast move. Oh, you're not using Quick Attack.
Using Struggle Bug.
Yeah. Struggle Bug, yeah, Struggle Bug. Yeah, so counter, Rock Blast, and probably Mega Horn. Maybe Earthquake. I don't know. I've not decided yet. When's the first tournament? 2 days time? Yeah, I'll decide.
Fair enough. So you said the thing that I picked up on there was if you're an counter user. Like, I'm quite keen on running a counter user for Graveler.
Otherwise, you're forced to use some shocking ground type mon, or Magnezone. Maybe I've said which mon I'm using instead of a counter user.
Or Venusaur, ever reliable.
Yeah. How close is the Roserade matchup?
I think Roserade beats Graveler in zeros, but that's about it, I think.
That's about it. And is that assuming the Leaf Storm rather than Grass Knot?
Do you know what? I can't remember the ins and outs of this. I checked. I couldn't find a Roserade set that beats Graveler consistently. That's what I know.
Yeah, I think it needs Bullet Seed to get close, and there's actually quite a big argument for Poison Jab here. So yeah, it depends on what you need your Roserade for, I guess. If you pick.
I know I'm talking Heracross, but Roserade, I would actually be thinking something like Bullet Seed, Fireball, and maybe Dazzling Gleam. Just throwing that out there. Zweilous is not going to be expecting that. Oh, it's like, yeah, I can resist fire, I can resist grass, and then boom.
Well, there is that, but then at that point you're not doing the thing that you need your counter user to do. You're not beating your Gravelers. Yeah.
So is Graveler really a thing this month? Yeah.
Yes.
Seems it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Graveler with both fast moves is viable as well. I've been running mine with Rock Throw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it sounds, absolutely suicidal, but it still adds up. It still does what it needs to. You need it to do.
Probably better in the mirror, but probably less dangerous overall, I feel.
Doing obviously a lot better against the Crustle map and the Crustle matchup.
Sure.
I think Grav and Crustle obviously are the two biggest threats in this meta.
Yeah, and that's sort of what you're looking for Heracross to do, because like the steel types, like I think Phil mentioned Magnezone there. Magnezone's a nice hard wall to Graveler, but struggles with Graveler. Sorry, it's a nice hard wall to Crustle, but it really struggles with Graveler. I think it only beats Graveler in the zeros Magnezone, because that's something I was looking at earlier on. So yeah, I really do think you need a counter user here, personally.
Instantly change his team to include Heracross. Yeah, I think if you think about solid mons in just general Great League meta, typings which go well together are your rock and your ground. So you think of G-Fisk. So I like Heracross because you've got Rock Blast and potentially Earthquake. I think, was it Aaron talking about Credilli the other day? Bulldoze, Stone Edge, that's just wow. I'm on that boat. I am on that ship. Yeah, I know you were slagging it off, but yeah, Credilli for me, definitely 100%.
Oh no, I wasn't slagging Credilli off here. I was all aboard the Credilli Bulldoze ship here.
Yeah.
Normally I slag Credilli off, so fair enough. But
there's no need. The whole point of a grass type is to resist. Well, not the whole point, but one of the key things is to resist that electric damage. So I agree. Bulldoze Stone Edge for me for Credilli, but there's me revealing my secrets before I've even made a team.
Only month one. It's fine.
Yeah, month one ranking means nothing. Yeah.
So what do you guys think to Heracross as the counter user?
Andre, you go first, and I'll rage about it.
So I've done a fair chunk of practice. I've not touched Obstagoon once. It was just straight Heracross. I think Phil's nailed it. You need the Rock Blast. They can come in very clutch against Mandibuzz if you've got it at low HP. I've actually ran it with close combat in the first 2 practices I did, and then I switched it across to Megahorn, and there is an argument for both. Both obviously slap very hard. It's all about whether you want that debuff. There will be certain situations where you do not want to be farmed down, and a close combat with a debuff can come in very handy. A disadvantage can be turned into an advantage there. But personally, I find that Megahorn probably is the better of the two to go for overall. It still slaps Mandibuzz pretty hard. I think you're looking at about 55% damage from full health. I personally don't see Obstagoon being that popular throughout the month. I know it's very ballsy to say. It's obviously a lot more accessible than what Heracross is. I know a lot of new PvP players may not even have a PvP eligible Heracross available to them. Obviously, in Europe, for example, or Asia, people in the region obviously be absolutely loving this meta for the Heracross accessibility. But no, I just think it's the fight to go for. It's got the counter damage stat. It's still not enjoying rock moves that much. I do find that it's still hurting Heracross a fair chunk. But yeah, Escab.
Yeah, you've got to practice with it. Yeah, you've got to practice with it. I mean, you can do it as some sort of sacrificial swap, gain some sort of advantage, whether it be shield or Or if,
Yeah.
say, you've just had a mon feint and you're just going to counter something down and then absolutely spam some moves out.
It's
It's
very
good for that.
dangerous. It's very dangerous after
It's
counting
lethal.
it down.
It is absolutely lethal. So if you can use Heracross correctly, it is lethal. I forgot all about that accessibility issue. I feel really bad for picking this now.
James, go on, what were you going to say about Heracross?
Oh, so I checked. So I checked 5 minutes ago. So went to Florida a few years ago now, back before I played PvP, and I've caught 83 Heracross. And back in those days, it's one of them that you should think, right, I'll bring a few home for locals, that sort of thing. I have one Heracross left in my storage, CP 2,600 and something or other. So yeah, we fell out massively. And also it's annoyingly good, so that's really annoying. But yeah, I played against Jamie. He was using one in practice, and yeah, that thing hits like a truck. If he save swaps it, get a couple of counters in, you could. And if you haven't got a real good answer for it in your back, you're in trouble. And you actually get Rock Blast so fast. Even I was thinking, could you bring Aerial Ace Mandy in? And you can bring Aerial Ace Mandy in, but if he gets a couple of counters, you're in a bit of trouble. And really, that's you bring in a flying type to fight.
Slash.
My apologies, slash.
Yeah, if it's Snarl, it's great.
You lose, yeah. So like, if you can't bring your flyer into a fighter, that's how good Heracross is in this meta. So yeah, my 2,600 one isn't eligible, I don't think, for some strange reason.
Interesting you mentioned the Mandibus thing though, because I don't know whether Vortex Cup seems like a bit of a way back now, doesn't it? Where I was, well, there was a few air slash Mandibus running around in Vortex to try and counter the Primeapes, because obviously you couldn't snarl down a Primeape, and with Primeape being only having a single times weakness or a single weakness to Aerial Ace. The Aerial Ace wasn't killing it, whereas with Heracross it does. So, which is what I think makes Mandy really interesting here, is that I think obviously Air Slash is your hard counter for Primeape, as your hard counter for Heracross, but because you don't necessarily the Aerial Ace does kill the Heracross after a couple of snarls. I still think I think Snarl's more than viable, and whereas back in Vortex Cup, if your opponent didn't have a Hypno, it was clear that they were going to have Air Slash Mandibus. I don't think that's the case here. I think if you see Mandibus the only Heracross answer here, I don't necessarily think that means Air Slash. I think I've done a few practice tournaments and I've been back and forth on what moves I've been running on my Mandibus. I still don't know which one I'm going to run. Yeah, I don't know. But
I think that's quite a good thing about Lunar on the whole. I think there's so many mons that you're thinking, what move should I run here? And it's not that obvious. I think without going too far away from Heracross, which has its own decisions, like Close Combat or Mega Horn or Earthquake, your Air Slash versus Snarl is an interesting one because of how popular Goon might be. I don't think your Air Slash is there for your Heracross. I think your Air Slash might be there for your Goon.
Good point.
But I guess we'll see. But yeah, with Heracross, don't know, not tried it, not practiced with it. But I don't think Close Combat's the way to go, because I think whatever you're hitting with your fighting damage, you've got with counter anyway. Is there anything that's weak to fighting that you're not beating anyway? I don't think Close Combat.
Maybe Crossle with energy, maybe.
Is Crossle neutral to fighting rather than weak to?
It is, yeah. But I would have thought a Close Combat probably still hits Crossle harder.
Oh yeah, like a truck. Yeah. I think Rock Blast is the way to go with Crossle.
No, I still think.
Will be, yeah.
Do you reckon? I think Heracross Close Combat probably hits it harder.
You're probably getting to 2 Rock Blasts. Maybe
DPE, Rock Blast is quicker, isn't it?
It's 5 energy quicker.
And
but it's Close Combat does more damage and does more DPE than Rock Blast to Crossle. But I mean, this is again. I've been running various moves on the Heracross agree so much variety. I agree completely that close combat hits you're not hitting anything extra, but it hits harder, faster than if you hit, because Rock Blast in a neutral Rock Blast is pretty pitiful. So if you do need a big move, close combat comes sooner. However, when I did use close combat, I found the Roserade matchup rather frustrating. So I think that's the big downside to close combat for me, rather than a lack of coverage. Well, I suppose it is a lack of coverage, but it's a very specific lack of coverage. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Heracross before we move on? Should have been banned. Oh, well, you know what, right?
Accessibility, yeah. I know you mentioned accessibility. Yeah, it should be banned. Yeah.
So honestly, well, as Drew was saying earlier, like when I first saw this meta, I was like, oh, there's going to be some people out there that use Heracross. I was like, oh, it's not going to be an issue. But actually, as things have gone on, I think you're right, Phil. I think it's an absolute monster.
Yeah, I think with like the accessibility thing, like I want to say, was it Venture back in the last season where Defense Deoxys was a bit of a monster, and now I was one of the guys that didn't have a Defense Deoxys. When they were in EX raids, I had weather boosted ones, so I never got anything under 1500.
Oh, bless.
So I can completely sympathise with people that do not have Heracross at their disposal. I will go as far as say that having a Heracross is probably more important here than what DD was in Venture.
Yeah, so to those people who don't have one.
Yeah, I do think it could be painful. I think you'd have to set your team up to counter Heracross more than anything, which then could be gaping holes elsewhere.
I think
those people who don't have one, I apologise for picking this. So be aware, it exists. You're gonna have to, think your way around.
I think it'll be really interesting when the meta really gets going. You start seeing people's teams, Heracross teams versus non-Heracross teams. I think they'll be set up so different. So it's just a different way of approaching it. It's like playing 10 men, I guess.
I guess if you haven't got the Heracross, you could run double flyer. You could run Mandy and maybe even a Tropius, because I know someone here does like a Tropius.
Who likes a Tropius?
You, bro. I had a conversation with you the other day and you were like,
do I?
Yeah.
No, don't tell people. That's not what chatting shit's for. We're not supposed to tell them what mons we actually like.
No, I can't jump off all the way. But yeah, talk about ones we actually like. I'll go next. Pokédex number 634, Zweilous. I thought it was interesting, right? We have a laugh at the Pokédex numbers to make Dan happy, but like each Pokemon has like the species of it. So like Zapdos is like the angry electric bird Pokemon. Squirtle might be like the baby turtle Pokemon. Zweilous is the hostile Pokemon. I was like, that's pretty cool. And the reason I like Zweilous is because I like winning, and Zweilous across all. I don't normally like these statistics, but I feel like they're particularly impressive here. Zweilous across the whole meta, without baits, has a win rate of 79% in the zeros, 78.5% in the ones, 79.6% in the twos. And then it goes just like, and what's really cool is that if you turn baits on in the ones and twos, it doesn't really go up much. So those matchups are reliable matchups as well. PV Poke just like the condensed meta list, right? Where it picks out the 28 or 29 mons that it thinks is going to be like really common. So when you take a Scavalier, Obstagoon, Heracross, Fortress, and Wormadam, which are obviously going to beat Zweilous. They're all doing counter damage or they're all doing fast bug damage. Of the remaining 24 mons on there, there's only one mon that Zweilous can't beat in one of the even shield scenarios without baits, and that's a Bomber Snow. Now, Chesnaught is on that list that it beats. Frostlass is on that list. It beats Frostlass in twos. And it's also sort of another way of countering the Graveler. I say it counts the Graveler. It resists the Volt Switch.
Electric types.
Yeah, and it puts Graveler in a difficult position, because if it goes for Stone Edge and it gets shielded, it's not going to get to another charge move before it gets Dragon Breath down, because it's that aggressive. And it can quite comfortably chew a Rock Blast. It's probably bulkier than people give it credit for, Zweilous. Struggles a bit versus Air/Mandibuzz, but it goes fine versus Mandibuzz, which is really interesting, given that a lot of the things that are beating Mandibuzz here are like dedicated counters like Graveler. The fact that you've got a neutral mon that can take on Mandibuzz is really valuable, I feel. Yeah, I just think it's really good. I feel I don't like the grass types here. I think I'm going to be running Grassless, and I feel having Zweilous on my team sort of fills that grass role as the good Graveler counter, and also it just beats a load of weird stuff, like the stuff that you look at the team and think, oh, they're really prepare for that. You know, sometimes those sort of things can be 5v6. Zweilous is almost definitely going to beat those things. Yeah, really like Zweilous. That was easy.
Not really a Matthew Brewer-mon, is it, really?
Not really, no.
If it beats the weird shit, usually you get beaten by the weird shit.
I do normally, but I've just had so much fun with Zweilous in the dungeon cupping factions. And yeah, as I say, there's not really a grass type I like here. What I really like about it is actually that if Heracross switches in on it, you'll get into the Body Slam before Heracross is getting into the Rock Blast.
I'll find that out myself, yeah.
Yeah. so if you're not shielding the Body Slam from Heracross, Zweilous can shield in return, farm you down, take switch. Admittedly, a shield disadvantage, and it's fairly close to another Body Slam with enough health to probably get there against most things, given that you're not going to get countered down by the next thing because you're just beating the counter user. Now, obviously, you're a shield down and you've won switch, but there are plenty of matchups going around here that are, hard enough matchups to flip the 0-1. There's people out there running Golux, which will obviously quite comfortably beat Gravelers down a shield. You've got things like your Mandibuzzers, which will beat most grass types down a shield. Desperately trying to think of some other examples. None come to mind. But if you want to play that, if you've got things like if you've lost a lead hard, and your only option is winning switch back, Zweilous can do that versus Heracross, or gain you a shield. At which point your lost lead might not be disastrous anymore. So, yeah, I just think I really didn't like it to begin with because I thought counter users are going to be really good. I want to minimise the amount of counter users here, but actually, I want to minimise the amount of counter users here, but actually, quite happy with Swy. Yeah. Any thoughts?
I have this one. This is the Pokemon I have. So I can talk about this one. No, I really like it. I agree with everything you said. It just looks so good. I didn't take the PV poke meta. I had a look at my own, just based on all the usage data at the moment. I sort of took everything that was over sort of 3 or 4%, and there's only 3 mons that can beat. That says 30 Pokemon over 3% usage at the moment, and only 3 of them can beat 22 or more out of 30 in the 2s. And Zweilous is one of them. So, if you're looking at Pokemon over 3% usage, they're the ones that you're going to see. And if you can beat 22 out of the 30 in the 2s, then you've just suddenly got a really good safe swap. And yeah,
Yeah.
as I said, take them counter users out, and they're the ones you're losing anyway. You know, you just got to plan for that. If you've got a counter weakness, you obviously just plan for it. Yeah, Zweilous just beats everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And what I think it's worth pointing out is very few teams are going to have 3 counter users or even 2 counter users.
Well, there wasn't, but there might be now.
Well, there might be now, yeah. Sorry.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Drew, any thoughts on Zweilous?
I've not used it in tour in practice, but now Holmes has come out of that stat. You know, we all have stats here. I think
You wait till later, mate.
there's an offer. No, I'm intrigued. I might have to see if I can find a flash practice tournament just to give it a go. My own personal team, 5 of the Mons are locked in. My 6th Mon is one of 2 ghosts. However, I don't know if I want to go double dark, and that's the reason I haven't gone Zweilous. I wanted Mandy.
But don't Mandy and Zweilous have quite different counters though?
Yes, but the way my luck runs in Silph, I'll run into the Dazzling Gleams, I'll run into, I think, there's 2 Charmers in this meta. I should know this, really, being a dirty
You
Charmer.
should know
You
this.
should know this. Yeah.
I think it's Lipard and Charmchu.
I faced a Lilligant with Charm.
Oh,
Yeah.
oof. Well, that's filth, but yeah. No.
He says that's Silph as he writes it down.
Yeah, add that one to the list. No, to be honest, I haven't used it. It's not something I use. I think I've used it once in one Silph meta. I couldn't even tell you what that meta was. It probably was last. What was the Zweilous one last season? I think it was with meta where it's like,
Yeah, it was good in Vortex. It was a good with Talonflame in Vortex.
it was probably one of those metas where Brewers probably just canned me with Zweilous about over and over again in practice. I've just gone, you know what, if it works for him, it'll work for me. And just whacked it in the team with no real thought or care. But I've not used it. It's not on my radar to be using it. I use it in a couple of practice battles with some of the guys, but I don't see it making my final 6 personally.
This is why I was the first one on my 6.
Yeah,
Go on, Phil.
whereas obviously, as I said, Hera was my.
I love it. It's perfect for this meta. Like, yes, you've got to shield some bug moves here and there, and yes, avoid the counters, but everything else, resist the electrics, resist the grass, resist those weather balls that you're going to get from Rosa Red. I think it ticks a lot of boxes for typings.
Yeah, I like the bug moves as well.
Dragon.
Great typing. But the bug moves as well, like outside of Heracross, I feel like the most popular bug is going to be Crystal.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of them are going to be running Smackdown anyway, which you can take on fairly okayly. Like, it's not. I suppose the problem is that Body Slam's going to be resisted, but Dragon Breath is so oppressive that Body Slam is all you need sometimes. Even resisted, even unstuck. Yeah.
Body Slam is all you need. Felt you were going to break into song then, Matthew.
I've had a long day, Phil. I've not
All
got
you
the
need is Body Slam. All you need is Body Slam.
No, this is it.
need. Body Slam's all you need.
I was going to use. I've had an epiphany. I was going to use Quilladin in Continentals. I used Whalmer in a big draft, and now I'm using Zweilous. Body Slam all the way. That's the way to play. Okay, well, I'll not keep Drew waiting any longer. He's been pestering me all month, wanting to talk about this. So off you go.
So I've gone for Pokedex number 596, which is my loyal mon Galvantula. Now,
Spooder.
I don't know why I've gone for it, to be honest. There are some pros to it, but there are also a lot of cons. But I've used it in 3 out of the 4 practices, and it's been in my line in most matches. I've even ran it into people with Crossall and Graveler on their team. So
You're meant to win.
yeah, wow, are you? And this is my point. Are you meant to win with Galvantula? What I found in practice is
Shield advantage.
you soft lose Galvantula, bring in the Heracross, farm down, game over. It's foolproof until I've given it away to the whole Silph community. But
Until the
honestly,
Mandibuzz comes in after your Heracross. So.
well, that's happened once or twice, but we don't talk about those kind of times. But no, so Galvantula in ones, the win rate's pretty good. It's 76.2%. I mean, it's got 138 wins, 42 losses, which is it is high, but it is to the stuff that you'd expect it to lose to. Raveler, Roserade, Crossall, Magnezone, annoyingly Lantern, but I think that may be bait dependent. It may be on the hydro hitting.
Would you expect it to lose to Roserade? Yeah, I suppose you would,
Yes,
really.
the weather balls are coming far too quick.
Magnezone, yeah, I can see that being.
That's quite a solid loss, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The one that hurts me the most is obvious why, Chesnaught. Well, again, obviously Roserade for obvious reasons, weather ball, but a solid grass fighter, but a grass mon that doesn't have weather ball and it's leading to it because of Smackdown, which again goes to show how oppressive Smackdown could be in this meta. But on the flip side, it's key wins. Mandibuzz is going to be, if it's not on 95% of people's teams, I would be shocked. It's beaten Obstagoon. It's beaten Zweilous. Obviously straight lunge. Sableye, it picks up. Yes, there may be a few Sableyes knocking about. I don't think it will be that popular this meta. I think you discussed that on a previous video. And the interesting one is it actually loses to Umbreons in the ones, which I was surprised about. However, that can be flipped with a 1-volt switch advantage. Which, again, if you're farming things down, switching in, switching out, it can easily be crawled into the scenario. I think Umbreon, as the month goes on, will replace Mandibuzz. I just think people will get fed up throughout the month of losing a lot of matches with Mandibuzz.
Well, while we're on the topic of Umbreon, can I just ask you, Phil? You're in with your Heracross, right? You're facing down an Umbreon, and the Umbreon throws a charge move.
Yeah.
Do you shield?
Well, game one, and they've got the energy for it. I'll shield that piss kick. Yeah, I'll shield it. Yeah.
I've been hit with a Lasso. It's not fun.
Oh, yeah. I was meaning psychic.
Yeah.
Piss kick.
Well, I got hit with a last resort and it basically took Heracross out of the match.
Really?
Useless. Yeah, it's a good 80%. 80%.
Surely not.
Honest to God.
I'm going to sim that. I don't believe you.
I shield every move when I've still got Heracross alive.
I'm probably chatting shit.
43%. Your Heracross must be really, really weak to begin with. Like.
I like how you almost got it bang on double though.
Whereas a piss kick is what, 80?
Let's have a look. Piss kick. 70, yeah. Or 69, yeah.
Giggity.
Giggity indeed.
So is Umbreon a close combat? Ticking the close combat box?
Or Mega Horny.
Well, Mega Horn, yeah, I think.
No, let's try Mega Horn. No, it's fine with Mega Horn, straight Mega Horn, even versus a baiting psychic Umbreon. Yeah. So, but loses twos if you don't throw properly. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Go on, go on, Drew.
Galvantula.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Galv, So looking at PvP, it's actually ranked number 2 on switch-ins, which, you know, I'm sure we're all aware what that actually means. Obviously, it's a great safe swap. It can pack a punch. You don't necessarily need to use shields on it either. It's a great one that can pick you up shield advantage. Throughout practices, I've tried, you know, scenarios where I've used shields. I've double shielded Galvantula, I've single shielded it, and I've no shielded it. I think the no shield, just kind of safe swap it, get the lunge debuff in, or, you know, if it's a Mandy, get the discharge on. And, you know, you're good to go. Your soft lose, come in, farm down, you know, but you've got that shield advantage, which, you know, you probably are burning that shield after losing switch. But I have found, you know, more times than not, Galvantula is, you know, a key middle mon in a line, kind of gels a team together quite nicely. You know, people say I'm crazy with obviously Grav, Cross all knocking about. Chesnaught, I found out to my horror, I was playing Rob, and he led Chesnaught into my Galvantula. Completely forgot I had Smackdown. I was sat there rubbing my hands going, I'm going to beat Rob, I'm going to beat Rob. Oh, dead. But yeah, loses to Wormadam Trash as well. Again, it's not, Wormadam Trash isn't a mon I'm familiar with. I haven't got one built. I don't plan on building one anytime soon.
Great mon.
Yeah, everyone says it's a great mon, but
I don't rate it here, but I think great mon.
Yeah, so it's one of Gal's top threats. So yeah, I mean, you may see some, not specifically for Gal. I'm sure Wormadam Trash in its own right picked up a few nice wins here and there. But again, the reason I do love Gal, the debuff. The debuff it can be so important in a matchup. I mean, a completely different one that, you know, loves a debuff, Dugong, and look how effective that can be with it.
Yeah.
I'm just a sucker for it. I'm just a sucker for a debuff.
You are, and I have this conversation with you every month. But yeah. I think this is probably the first time where I think this is probably the most effective Galv has been in that. I don't know. What do you reckon, Phil?
There was one early last season. Was it like Christmas time?
It was the one.
March.
The bigger rock meta.
Yeah, March. Yeah, I thought December last year. I thought it was really good in March last year. Yeah, not really done much singing for Gal this time round. But yeah, I like the lunge. I think it just switches things so nicely. You can get, as Andrew said, you can say switch in, lunge, a couple of lunges, and then actually, if you got a shield and you've not shielded yourself, do you even have to shield your next switch in? Because that one's double lunge, triple lunged. Yeah. You know, do you actually have to waste your shield and you've got energy advantage? You got energy and shield advantage. Yeah, you've not got switch, but you know, as Phil will sing 2 out of 3 hang pad.
Yeah. And especially with things like Graveler, it can or Mandy, which have a lot of either bulk or neutral hits to power through things. I think it puts you in a real nice position.
Well, going back to what I was saying, about the ability to leave it in a soft losing position and farm down. I actually ran a sim. So a Alolan Graveler from full health, say in the lead, you can soft lose, leave a Alolan Graveler of 8 HP. I think that's not too bad a farm down for your next one coming in. I thought that's again a great little setup.
You probably want to undercharge your lunge at that point. Get a few more counters or whatever.
Yeah, it depends obviously what's left, or if it is the lead, obviously you've got the whole team. But in different scenarios, you may just want that extra bit of damage.
Yeah, for sure. Phil, go on. What do you reckon to Galv? Oh, you're on.
Yeah, the wife's just entered the room and decided to enter a mid-call. So I really... Do you want to say hello to the stream? Suze, do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hello to the stream? This is Pikachu, so the infamous Pikachu. She exists. I'm not a lonely man pretending to be married. Yeah. So Galv, I like it. Very similar role to Crustle. Let's run both.
Yeah. Fair.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? One week.
SmackDown Chestnut. That's why not.
But,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, because that's a thing. Ah.
Have any of you tried using SmackDown Chestnut?
No, I've come up against it, and it's not. Yeah, like I said, it's not fun.
It's a difficult one to use. It's a really difficult one to use. So, I don't know. Fair play to anyone who can pull it off, I think. But I'm not massively concerned about SmackDown Chestnut personally. But it's a good one. Like, you know, sort of on an individual basis, I am like obviously don't want to be in versus the Crystal. But I mean, I think like going into a tournament, it's not something I'm massively prepared for because I just don't think I need to be. Yeah. James, you've gone for a different lunge user. Yeah.
I'm really proud of myself because I think this is the first time I've ever done chat and shit. And not only am I not going up first, like miss the meta over here. I've been asked to go last. So my pick is Pokédex number 168, and it's Ariados. Is that I've picked them on. I don't know how to say. I'm going for that. Yeah. I'm not going to say it any more times because we're gonna call it the second Spooder from now on. This came about because actually, for the first 3 days of Jungle Cup, I really enjoyed it. It's now a Chansey and Cottony Fest, and it's awful. But for the first 3 days, I really liked it, and I really liked Skorupi. So the Poison Sting cross Poison combo is amazing. It's so spammy, the boost chance. So I decided what in Lunar has Poison Sting and cross Poison, and here we go with. I'm not even going to try and say it again. And also, you'll notice, I mentioned earlier, there's 30 mons that have 3% or higher usage, and there's only 3 that beat 22 or more. And one's Zweilous, one's Crustle, I'm not going to tell you which moveset, and the third one is Mr. Second Spooder. There's a bit of a problem there, though, that I think about out of the 22, I think about 20 are bait dependent, but it can be. So, but it just shows how flexible it is. Yeah, it is bait dependent. If you, and I know Brewer just said second lunge user. Actually, I think the move. Well, we'll see the pros and cons, but I think the moveset might be Megahorn. So I think it might be Cross Poison, Megahorn. There's so many things you can pick up with Megahorn in the zeros, or if you get the Cross Poison bait. So it's one of them that, like, I played one practice game. Zweilous came in. I went for the Megahorn, got shielded, so I lose. And so it's a massive risk. It's a high risk, high reward mon. You know, if you go in for that Megahorn, you land it, you're probably going to win a battle there and then. If you go for the Megahorn and they shield it, you've probably lost there and then. But that's where the baits come in. And actually, can your opponent afford to let you Megahorn them? So they probably do shield, unless they're watching this and know that I'm just going to bait them. So I really
Does
like
Zweilous need to shield a lunge?
Well, this is the thing. So you can. Zweilous actually beats. Zweilous can take a lunge and beat it. So yeah, Zweilous is just that good here. But you know, we won't let Brewer's head get much bigger. You need to. You do need to Megahorn Zweilous to beat it, which, as your bug type, probably isn't amazing. Or well, isn't amazing. Full stop. But there's other great things it can do. Like if you double bait, you can beat a Lowland Graveler in the 2s and things like that. But the Lowland Graveler, as the Lowland Graveler user, you cannot take the Megahorn, so you're probably shielding it. If they shield the first cross poison and you get the boost, you actually win the ones. So, you know, there's a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes with Ariados. But actually, I think that's going to make it a really fun one to use, which isn't normally my style.
Sometimes that's what you want in a save switch, though, or a lead, or some, you know. It kind of reminds me a little bit of I don't know whether you wouldn't have been James, but I don't know whether. No, I don't think Drew was either. But do you remember AWAC in Rose Cup film?
Oh yes.
It's like worst comes to worst.
And Sinister. I was shielding Bone Clubs left, right, and centre.
There you go. That's it. Like, because it got to the point where AWAC stage between Rose Cup was so common that Gliscor and Gligar became a thing. But even then, like as a counter switch, even then, if you get a Bone Club bait, it's got a potential to flip things, and it's having it there. You've always got a chance, haven't you? You've always got a chance.
I think it's one of them you can decide, if you are safe switching it, you can decide completely based on the lead. If you're safe switching it, you've lost the lead. Right, is that a lead I must win switch? I've got to win switch or it's game over. Or is it if I get shield advantage here, I can flip this? So then you decide, right, all I need is shield advantage, and then I'll flip the lead. Right, I just need to go straight Mega Horn, or do a few baits in play. So you don't have to say every single match plays the same way. You just got to sort of play it by ear a bit. I think it will make it fun to use, a lot more fun than a lunge variant, because as good as lunge is, and I think Andrew hit the nail on the head with lunge. If you're going to go for a lunge user, you should go Galv, because Ariados doesn't really do anything with lunge. It doesn't beat the things it should be beating. It's just too squishy. So I think if you're going to use it, Mega Horn's the way. Just grab a shield or get them cross poison baits and boosts, and just say GG's at the end and run away and hide before someone calls you out on all the boosts you get.
Interesting point about not beating what it should beat, because I looked at it in Venture Cup, and I found the same thing. Some of the things you want it to beat, it shouldn't beat. It doesn't beat. But a few of those things were flipped by running Infestation rather than Poison Sting, and it's not quite as fast charging, not quite as fast, but it's still pretty fast. So I would suggest that anyone who's looking at Poison Sting, if there's something that you'd wish it would beat but it didn't quite, you could always look at Infestation as well. Although I imagine Poison Sting is slightly better overall. But if there's a particular match that you fancy, the Poison Sting's not quite doing the thing Infestation might do as well, which is quite nice.
If anyone's played with Scroopy in Jungle Cup and just had the time of their life spamming out cross poisons, Ariados is the mom for you.
I absolutely hate it. It absolutely murders my life in jungle.
That's because you run triple char.
No. No, so off subject, in jungle I've been running Dwebble lead, Talon in the safe slot, and Shadow Swinner in the back. Which actually leaves me weak to...
All three of those beat Scroopy.
Huh?
All three of those beat Scroopy. Surely Dwebble beats Scroopy.
Nope.
No way.
No, it's getting to the charge moves far too quick.
Poison Sting for you does that.
Yeah, so, I have good days. I also have very bad days in Jungle Cup at the moment.
Now, I wouldn't recommend Scroopy and Lunar, but if you want... I was going to say Big Brother, they're not even the same evolution line. But if you want something that probably should be the same evolution line and totally isn't, go for Ariados.
How do you feel about that, Drew? As in, do you feel threatened as a Galvantula user?
Well, Ariados, however you call it, it actually beats Galvantula. Which upsets me, But no, I've got a rank 1, There's my humble brag. But again, Galvantula, it's just like Hunter said, it's just the way to go. It is the premier spider. I looked actually at Ariados and I saw it learn a ghost move of all things.
Oh, it's only Shadow Steak. Don't get excited.
I know. Well, I'm still relatively, quite newbie with my movesets. So I looked at Shadow Sneak and I thought, possible? Nah. But one thing I don't think has been discussed that much is how common do you think ghost types will be, and is there a mon like Ariados out there with a ghost coverage move?
From Mega Horn. Just from Mega Horn.
Yeah. And Jamie caught a Mega Horn on his Heracross. It did loads.
Oh.
Absolutely loads. So yeah, don't catch Mega Horns on your Heracross.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I think Mega Horn is the way to go. If you want a lunge user, go Galv. But I actually think Ariados is a bit better than Galv here with Mega Horn.
Oh, the pain in his eyes. That's it.
Yeah.
Just when that cross poison says attack rises sharply. Oh yeah, that is the one.
Yeah, but is that not similar to the Obster?
Oh yeah, so you're an
Obster's obviously a solid Mon in general, but when it gets that boost, it's just a whole
Exactly the
level.
same, isn't it? It's at 12.5%, I think. I think they're clones, Night Slash and Cross Poison.
Yeah.
Like 12.5% for every other Silph player, GBL user, but about 2% for us regular mere mortals.
Oh, dear. Go on, Phil. Any thoughts on Ariados?
Ariados.
The second speeder.
Second spirit.
Yeah. I haven't built one, haven't used one. However, the analogy of Skaropi in Jungle Cup really annoys me because I hate that thing. So yeah, good shout, James.
I'm sorry.
So I think the way you've described it, like Stuart spoke about Drapion in episode 1. Obviously, it's not got the dark resistance, but it sounds to me like it's going to play very similar to Drapion, just with a bigger hit. Megahorn, it's a Shadow Ball clone, isn't it, or a Stone Edge clone, or something like that?
Probably Stone Edge, I would say.
Yeah, so it's a damn good move. Yeah, not much wants to take it. Yeah, go on.
It's one of them. It's just like on paper, you look at it and you go, right, all these matchups look brilliant, but they are very, very bait dependent. But look at it from the other side. You're facing that. Are you going to risk not shielding the Megahorn?
Yes.
Well, if I
This is why I don't sleep.
So when I play Andrew, I'm going straight Megahorn. Right. When I'm playing Phil and Brewer, I might bait.
Yeah.
Well,
happy days.
Well, why don't you save Ariados then, rather than using it as a save slot? Why don't you save it to the end?
Close.
People have to use the shields then, don't they? Well, sometimes they don't, and then they feel stupid. That happens to me a lot. But yeah.
Because of how good Megahorn is, it does perform very well up a shield. It's just hard. You've got to really manufacture that situation, and that's then your whole game plan. And not really my play style to just let my lead mon go, let my safe mon go, to keep 2 shields in the back. I know people that use fast move pressure mons might be quite into that sort of strategy. Andrew, maybe.
No, no. Go on, Holmes. How many episodes have you seen me on? I'm always saying I burn shields for fun. I need about 6 in a battle.
But yeah, so upper shield's good if you can manufacture that situation, which kind of has to be in the end game. You can't really say, "Oh, I'll lead it and double shield it," because it's just not good. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, unless anyone's got anything you want to add on anything, we'll leave it there. Yeah. All good. Thank you. Thanks for joining. But yeah, honestly, I thought I liked my team, but Ariados, man, I've got to have a look at that again now. I really like the sound of that. Yeah, cool. Well, good luck, everyone, and thank you very much. Catch you later.
Cheers for having us, Matthew. Good to be back.
Pleasure as always, guys. Pleasure as
Cheers,
always.
Matt.
See you, guys.
Bye.
Wait.